Navy women's lacrosse senior co-captain Jill Coughlin is set to have a poised season on the field this spring. But outside of her sport, she's also quite the adventurous scholar. The Annapolis native ventured to Antarctica over the winter holiday break as part of an internship funded by the National Science Foundation. We caught up with her on the yard to learn more about her unique experience.
A lot of people will never say they've been to Antarctica, and that for me is a huge feat to get myself down there and be able to obtain an internship such as that. Mainly it was getting us exposed to a research climate, especially in austere conditions. So here at school you can look at all these different data sets and pull up anything you want, whereas down in Antarctica they have access to minimal data sets, especially when it comes to weather. And I'm a meteorology oceanography major, so I just wanted to get field experience and see what it was like to learn in environments that are not a classroom. We have a little bit of that here, but seeing people come back from popping a tent on a glacier and sleeping out on the ice for weeks at a time and coming back and hearing them talk about it and the helicopter ride they took out there and the sleds they drove around, that was fantastic, and it's definitely something I would like to do at one point in my life. I just honestly love being outdoors, and anything that keeps me in touch with that and know why it's doing what it's doing and what processes you can expect next just really intrigues me. The ocean, I think, just intrigues me because we actually know less about the ocean than we do about Mars. We have so many experiments that go on in space that we know so much about, but there's so much here on our own planet that we don't know about, and I would love to be one of those people that discover something new. I don't know if it'll happen, but we'll see. In Antarctica, I was surprised by how many people are down there. You're thinking a small base, 100 people maybe. You get there, there's 600, 700 people living on this one little base. This is just the American base. You also have the New Zealand base is right next door, so they visit, they go back and forth. So that was really surprising, and just the people down there provide an awesome sense of community. It's summer down there right now, so 24 hours of sunlight, not something you get anywhere else unless you head up to one of the poles. So that for me was completely shocking. We arrived at midnight, and getting off the plane, you're looking around, you're like, oh, we can go for a run now, but it was 12 o'clock at night. People should be sleeping. The next day they threw us on a flight at 7 in the morning, taking us down to the South Pole. It was about 3 hours on the plane, and you're just kind of sitting in the back thinking this is gonna be awesome. So you get off the plane, you have all your gear on, it's negative 15 degrees Fahrenheit, and just for me to see, you've seen pictures of the South Pole, it's the pole surrounded by the flags, and you're like, oh, that's really cool, but seeing it in person, cool experience. You're just completely mind blown that this is a real event and you're actually there. It's a joke that you can run around the world if you run around the pole because you cross through every longitudinal line, so definitely did that. But my fingers froze off while I was there taking pictures, but it was completely worth it. There are also some pictures of when we were flying. The pilots would let us go up into the flight deck or the cockpit with them and take pictures out of the front of the plane. And some of the mountains that you overpass are just oceans filled with chunks of sea ice and little icebergs, see little seals sitting on the ice. Those were amazing as well. People were all super friendly, and they genuinely wanted to know who you were, what you were doing there. Since they all work there and stay there, they all knew each other. So when new people show up, they're like, I haven't seen you before, what do you do? Why are you here? What do you want to learn? And they would just take you under their wing. I'm looking into possibly going to grad school at some point. I would like to study polar oceanography, which would involve either the Arctic or Antarctica. So for me, that was definitely a good lesson to learn early on. Just realizing you do need good people to work for you. And as I watched the researchers and scientists, all their students that were down there with them, whether they're undergraduate, master's, doctorate, they truly loved what they were working with and were super excited to be there. Even if they're staying over the winter where it's dark 24/7.
Now back in Annapolis, Coughlin looks forward to a bright season in women's lacrosse. For the Patriot League Network, I'm Melanie Pulowski.